Development Bank project.
Thank you very much for the invitation. I'm happy.
Around 68%.
Mongolian stock exchange. Mongolia really is the transit.
Now, available.
During last year, we have, although President Trump,
The top 5 categories of
what's going on in the environment.
We can say that
one of the most important things.
In 2014, when the president of China paid an official visit to Mongolia, Mongolia and China presented an objective to increase bilateral trade turnover to $10 billion by 2020. Okay. According to a study, over 60% of Mongolia's total trade volume came from its operation with China. Yeah. What would be the negative impacts of the US-China trade war on the Mongolian economy? Would you elaborate on this?
Well, as I said, insofar as the trade war leads to a slowdown in Chinese growth, which it is doing, then obviously that in turn leads to a slowdown in demand for inputs, for the resources which China gets, among many other places, from Mongolia. So you're suffering from that. How much? That's difficult for me to say. Obviously, every country, all countries trade primarily with their neighbors, and of course, it is an issue that you have only two neighbors, and the two neighbors you have are both of them problematical for different reasons.
in terms of women entrepreneurship, we don't have any statistic. So therefore, it's very difficult to compare it to global statistic. So we've got two numbers. One is coming from the World Bank, which says approximately from those people we've interviewed, 40% have been women-led businesses. According to Statistics Office, from small enterprises, right, from SMEs, which are going under our definition of SMEs, around 68% are women entrepreneurs. So it's very difficult to say how many women entrepreneurs actually in the country, which sectors they operate, how many employees they own, what are their assets, total asset, what their contribution to the economy. Our members are actually, every woman member of Mongolian Chamber becomes automatically our member. So last time we had we asked the Mongolian National Chamber of Commerce, that was in 2018, to do for us a survey. And there are close to 300 women entrepreneurs here in Mongolia which are member of Mongolian National Chamber of Commerce, and around 700 women which are actually in the rural area. So altogether around approximately 1,000 members.
It was the 5th American Days Expo in Mongolia. Over 60 companies participated in the event and offered their products and services to the public.
My name is Enga. I'm in charge of marketing and PR of Herbalife Nutrition in Mongolia.
We are called Mongolian Mining Machinery Supplies, and we are the proud distributors of Ectolic USA.
And we have some protein bars, we have protein shakes and vitamins that supports a healthy lifestyle.
Our goal is to spread the yoga in a healthy, safe way. So happy to be here.
Mongolian and US businesses meet together, learn from each other, share experiences, and benefit both.
I'm really glad to say that relationship is getting better and better.
What problems can companies solve by using Exis, your platform?
Average company uses at least 5 to 10 different tools in order to operate their main operation, maintain the operation, including the Gmail, that is also a tool, and also Excel, Microsoft Word, and all that, including those 5 to 10 tools average company uses. And that is a lot. And in many cases, those tools doesn't talk to each other. And that creates a lot more manual work to shift the database between one tool to another. Or maybe they lose a lot of database in the process of doing it. So, with Exis is an all-in-one tool, which means that it can prevent all those data losses. So then, like company, like a sales, marketing, and customer support team can work together in the same database. That brings, saves a lot of time, and also that also brings like a great opportunity to use those databases effectively.
Good evening, my name is Tushimbat and I am the founder of the Geru. There are millions of creative entrepreneurs in all over the world and they couldn't reach their full potential. And in Mongolia, we got some fact that in Mongolian creative industry sector is totally failed and we try to figure it out those problems, and Geru is that connect the millions of creative entrepreneurs to the buyers. We launched our product a year ago, and right now in Geru team we have 12 members who are always passionate about new things, and they're all creative guru. Right now we got 120 artisans and designers in our community, and also we got 800 different products in Geru right now.
If we compare Mongolia to other developing countries in terms of capital market development, what differences can we see? In other words, what's our advantage and what are our weaknesses?
Very good question. So, of course, Mongolian capital market has been expanding rapidly, particularly in 2021. And also, as you might know, in the last few years, Mongolian Stock Exchange has experienced the unprecedented boom of IPOs. So these are certainly the advantages of Mongolian capital market. Of course, we do have some disadvantages or some weaknesses, I would say, but I think these weaknesses will be improved in the near future, which are the absence of institutional investors on Mongolian capital market. So I would say as a country, as economy, we need the reforming of the existing pension system so that private pension funds will be enabled to be set up in Mongolia so that they could invest to the instruments which are listed on Mongolian Stock Exchange, which is in turn beneficial for all the people of Mongolia who are currently working and who are paying social insurances. So as you know, the existing social insurance system in Mongolia is not that efficient, so that needs to be improved. So as a result, we will have the institutional investor base.
The economy lacks of money. The economy needs money to pour in it. How do we get the capital, the market needs? So we need, of course, foreign direct investment. We need financing from international institutions, financial institutions, right? And if we compare the economy, with the human body, for example, our main sectors of economy, for example, if in human body, the heart is the main organ. Then, in our economy, for example, the mining sector is the heart, and then construction sector is the, for example, liver, and the agriculture might be the kidney, for example, And the blood supplies, oxygen and nutrition to all these organs, for example, main organs. So the blood is the money in the economy. So if the body lacks the blood, the body dies. So that's the economy, exactly that's the way the economy behaves also. So the economy needs the blood, the money to exist and to develop.
Since 1990, Mongolia received the total of $2.4 million in investment from Hungary. Of course, it's not enough. Also, trade volume between Mongolia and Hungary is relatively small, but in the last few years there has been a growth in bilateral business relations. By 2017, trade turnover reached $12 million. How could we increase this number?
But actually, if the Mongolian parliament approves the amended contract to build the biocombinate in Songino, that would open up your market for Hungarian technologies. And my experience from other tied aid credit programs with other countries is that the companies which are involved in that program will pay more attention to the market of that given country, and then on a business basis, not on a state to state, but on a business to business basis, they remain on that market, on that respective market, and expand presence, and then serve as a flagship. And you know, small boats are usually swimming following the flagship, so that opens up the way for other companies as well. You know, when they see that a Hungarian company makes a good business here in Mongolia, then the smaller companies will feel, oh, why don't we try it? Let's do it. So I think that the issue of the biocombinate in Songino is much more important than just, between quotation marks, of course, just building a factory.
Today, Mongolian Angel Investor Association is putting together the Mongolian Startup Showcase 2020, and this is a very special event because, again, it showcases the Mongolian startups to investors in Mongolia, and as well as it teaches the startups how to properly pitch to investors. And I think we got very, very good attendance from the investors who are interested in investing into startups and also becoming a venture capital fund. So the investors are mostly individuals, but we have some corporates, CVCs are participating in the event as well.
I had a lot of intrigue and fascination for the country even before I came here. I was very excited about the prospect of visiting Mongolia, and luckily I had the chance to visit Mongolia a few years before I took this position. In my previous role as a project team leader with the Asian Development Bank, I was able to visit Mongolia. And what struck me first and foremost was really the warmth, kindness and generosity of the people. And I think that still is something that stays with me very strongly. Beyond that, you know, everything you hear about Mongolia, about the beautiful vistas, the scenic wonders, the vast open grasslands and deserts, all of that is true and much more. I've had the pleasure of traveling around Mongolia a little bit, and I'm struck by really the spellbinding beauty everywhere I go. Had the chance to visit Western Mongolia last year, 3 IMAGs, and that was my most recent trip, so I'm mentioning that. And some of the parts of that, those IMAGs, Hovd, Uvs, and Bainulgi, really takes your breath away. Haras Lake is one place I remember very, very much. You know, it was really something that will stay with me for a very long time.
The last question, how do you see your long-term future?
We have a huge dream. We wanted to fill at least 10% of that, the whole market, that like whole estimated market that we have. And we think it's possible because we are open source, like in a product development wise, that we've got a lot of help at the back, like worldwide help. So I think like that our dream can be very possible to reach.
Sounds like a big goal, but I have no doubt you can achieve that goal, that target. Good luck to all of you guys, and thank you so much for joining us on the program. Take care.
Thank you very much. And again, thank you for having me today.
At first, as an unknown startup company, we faced some challenges. One of them was earning people's trust and persuading people. We tried to introduce our application and website to companies and explain to them how they worked. But we were not able to give them a full understanding of the benefits of our products. They didn't believe in us. It took a lot of effort to get our first customers, but we didn't give up. Thanks to being dedicated, we managed to sign our first contract. That was a crucial step for inspiring our team.
Asian Development Bank introduced Mongolian economic outlook for 2019 and 2020. What are the main messages from the outlook?
Sure. First of all, thank you very much for having me. I would take the messages in a number of levels. So one, I would look backwards at 2018, and the message there is that economic growth was quite strong in 2018, reaching 6.9% of GDP. Looking forward, we expect in the Asian Development Bank economic growth to continue to be strong in 2019 and 2020, so reaching 6.7% in 2019 and 6.3% in 2020. After that, we also have one message relating to the policy challenge. So every year in the Asian Development Outlook in the Mongolia chapter, we identify a policy challenge and we put in some things on there. And what we're saying this year is that for Mongolia to get the best out of its natural resource revenues, it's important that instead of focusing on setting up new funds, it focuses on improving public financial management.
We interviewed Mr. Tsengel, Deputy Director of MCS Holding LLC, about the partnership between MCS Group and Cerberus Management. He shared us his opinion on the deal made between the two companies. According to the deal, Cerberus buys approximately 20% of certain MCS Group companies.
The main message, I think, will be that despite the coronavirus crisis, which has hit all the economies in the world, including Mongolia, foreign investors are still very, very prudent and confident when it comes to the long-term perspectives of the country, Mongolian economy. So our target businesses are consumer businesses which operate domestically in Mongolia. So it shows strong confidence of the investors in the Mongolian consumer and its spending growth going forward. So that's, I think, the main positive message, and we hope this news of our transaction will encourage other investors having discussions with potential Mongolian partners regarding future investment. So we hope this should serve as a good sign of increasing foreign direct investment. Other lessons, of course, will probably relate to the qualities the local businesses would have to have in order to attract foreign investment. So again, it's about compliance, it's about obeying the rules, fair competition, and so on. So I think those are the main messages.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
Thank you.
Asian Development Bank project.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
Around 68%.
Mongolian Stock Exchange.
Mongolia really is the transit.
Now, available.
During last year, we have, although President Trump,
the top 5 categories of
what's going on in the environment.
We can say that
one of the most important things